What's up? Welcome back to Real Res Talk. My name is Sam. I'm joined by Chivy, and tonight we are asking ourselves: are we in limitation or damage control mode? Because United are plummeting without a absolute prayer. Ten Hag reportedly has two games to save his job: Porto tomorrow and Villa at the weekend. We're going to get Chivy's thoughts on that. We're going to talk about Dalot. We're going to talk about Kobbie Mainoo and Dan Gore, who were back in the squad unexpectedly. Chivy, first of all, how are we? Good week so far?
Yeah, good week. Not too bad. Halfway through, so yeah, looking forward to the weekend.
Are you sort of cut off from United now, so they don't affect your mood during the week or the weekend or anymore?
I feel like I'm going back to my last season mode. Do you remember how I was
Yeah,
last season? I
just
was just,
just gone, like
just,
emotionally gone.
just empty,
Yeah,
like literally just. I can feel it coming, and yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's
no point.
it's it's not a good time to be a United fan at all at the minute. But yeah, Diego Dallo has been speaking to the media, and I believe he's going to be part of the press conference that's going on now with Eric Ten Hag just before the Porto game tomorrow. But there's a couple of comments. I'll get your thoughts on it, and then I'm going to ask you about his sort of this season so far, because last season he was arguably a really important player and played well for most of the parts, but I think he's had a couple of mistakes this season. Um, he said, we'll face this match with energy. He's talking about Porto. The good thing about football is that every 3 days, every week, there is always a new opportunity to do better. The match against Porto is perfect because it's the next one. We have to see it as a final because these are the points we'll need to get to the next stage, and we want to win this competition. Normal to go through a period of reflection and analyze what has done, good and bad. There's always a 24-hour period to switch off, start thinking about the next match. There are different matches, different opponents. We have to change the chip to be better physically and mentally. The point I wanted to pick up there is the point where he says we have to see it as a final. That's quite damning. That's quite damning, that is it not, Chivy?
Mate, whenever they start talking like this, you just know,
Yes.
yeah, there's this pressure. When you mentioned it just now, that's what kind of just, because initially when you were reading the comments, like I'll be honest, I
Same
was
old
very
shit. Same old
uninterested
shit.
because
Yeah.
yeah, it's what they say. So I was just like, yeah. But then when he said that, like whenever people start, nobody says that makes that statement when they're in a good position.
Oh, 6 games
It's
into
always
the season, by the way, Chivy.
16 games, yeah, and then what's that is the fact that we're just going to play your game. I don't like hearing that. That just tells you. But to be fair, like nobody needs to say it. Like we know how bad it is, how bad the situation is. It's unfortunate that now we're at this point of the season, we're desperate.
Yeah.
We're really desperate already, for results. So a lot of what he said, yeah, it's I wouldn't expect anything less. That's what you should say when you're under pressure and you have to meet, you have to step up to the press and face the public. Yeah. But then when you start making comments like that, like, it's clear that the situation is desperate. What worries me about stuff like that is like it doesn't sound like there's a plan.
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if you come out and say, yeah, we've identified some weaknesses, we've identified some
We've
such and
worked on
such.
this in training. We've done this.
Yeah, this is how we want to approach the games going forward or whatever. Yes, but when you say everything is a final, it just means it's desperate, it's battle stations, it's literally just, yeah, we're just gonna trust valor to take the day.
It's
And
it's
yeah,
very it's very it's what relegation managers say, isn't it? It's what people like Sean Dyche a couple of years ago was saying. It's what probably Russell Martin is saying to his players. It's probably what who's another, I don't want to say Kieran McKenna, but like people who are gonna like facing relegation this year. That's the kind of stuff they come out with, isn't it? Or we're fighting, every match is a final. We've got a battle to the end
I'm,
because they're so desperate to stay up. Not Manchester United, like Manchester United players saying that. That's bizarre.
I'm glad I'm glad you're saying that because I'm glad you've mentioned that because this is relegation form,
Yep.
like literally.
What are
We're
we?
showing
What are we?
relegation.
12th, 11th, 12th? Where are we in the league?
I don't know. I don't know. We're probably closer to the bottom than we
Yeah.
are at the top. You So it's relegation form. If you take into consideration that the Premier League games we played before the end of the season, like we literally just picked up where we left off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like Yeah, I think you're right. It's relegation talk. This, every game's the final thing. And Ten Hag said this last season as well when we
Yes.
went through top five. He said that. So yeah, it's just nobody cares. I really don't care about what these people have to say. Like, just do your talking on the pitch. No, seriously.
No,
Yeah, just
no,
yes.
I find it refreshingly honest because people are like, "Oh, what's he saying? What's that?" But you're like, "I don't give a shit. Fucking play on the pitch and play well. Like that's it."
That's it. Like, show me what you want. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen? You're going to come back and tell me, we go again next week when we lose.
Do you
You're going to come
remember?
back and tell me,
Do you remember the apologies
not
on Instagram? Do you remember those? Like for when we were
yeah,
going, was it under Ollie when we were like bad thought, and then every week the players were putting an apology on Instagram, and I was like, I am gonna
yeah,
chuck my phone out the fucking window at this point.
not the result we wanted, but we go again, and then with the that
Yeah,
emoji with
yeah,
the
yeah. And it's always a picture of them looking like downtrodden on the pitch in the rain, like they've got the hands just like this and looking down on the like this, just stuff like you like get fucked,
yeah, I don't
like get
care.
absolutely get fucked.
Just go on the pitch, man, and show me, show me something.
Speaking of on the pitch, last game we played against Spurs, he was jogging back, which allowed Brendan Johnson to sort of just coast in and get a tap in and thing. Obviously, Van de Ven made the goal with the run that he was allowed to get away with, but Dalot's man, Brendan Johnson, is just yards ahead of him, and Dalot's jogging back, and then once he puts it in, he puts his hands up like he's apologising. So these words essentially mean shit because on the pitch, he's showing absolutely zero desire, absolutely zero fight, not absolutely busting a gut to get back and try and defend his position. He's jogging back. So does these words even ring a little more hollow? The fact that on the pitch he's having that kind of time.
I don't think Dalot doesn't care. I don't think so. He doesn't strike me as the type that doesn't care.
How do
I
you
think he was
explain
just
that
caught.
behavior? How do you explain that behavior then?
Well, this is how I see it. I think he was just caught in no man's land. We're throwing people forward. We're so open at it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So we're throwing people forward, and then all of a sudden we're on the attack. I mean, we're like having to deal with an attack. Players come past him, and he knows like there's no chance of. Sometimes you're just caught in this headspace that you're like, what is happening, And I don't think he was jogging back because he can't be asked. Dalot is very dedicated. I don't think so. I think it's one of those things where what's that saying when it says you're caught when the deer's caught in the headlights sort of thing.
Yeah, just freeze.
I think it's
like,
caught in no man's land. Yeah, he's gone up there, and then every time they had an attack, it was almost like it was the players were surprised or unexpected. Like we didn't expect to lose the ball for them to get it and come back.
Yeah,
it's all a positional thing. Like everything they did, a lot of what they did was down the wings. Like they read us like a book.
Well, there was just massive
So I don't think
gaping holes across the pitch, so they could just run through the thing. Like it wasn't like there was any challenge to sort of get in, was it? They was just run through the pitch.
And they didn't need to because we didn't even have the midfield. They could have just gone straight through the middle.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, Van de Ven didn't. Van de Ven did he? He ran 70 yards through the fucking midfield. Like he was like straight through the middle.
Exactly. So I don't think Dalot doesn't care or he was jogging back because I just think he was caught in no man's land. Caught out of bounds and got punished. And he realized, by the time he realized it was like, fuck, too late, sort of thing. It happens. I don't really remember a really outstanding performance at left back for him. He's been very, very decent and good at left back. But I don't remember a sustained period where he was really good at that position. I know he can play there, but it's not his natural position.
He's decent, isn't he? He's not amazing. He's decent at best.
Yeah. When we played Chelsea in the Bridge and we're winning, and the last two goals came from that position. First, he fouls Cole Palmer in that position. And then when they take the corner, Cole Palmer's just acres of space. Like,
he's missing,
it all came from there, yeah. So he's not the best at that position, but like at this point, I don't want to single out players. Like at this point, for me, the blame lies solely at the manager. Solely, I don't want to.
We're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that. I'm going to read out some comments and we'll move on to the next bit. Jay McGogan will be watching Villa getting humbled by Bayern this evening. Chivy, you going to be watch that game?
No, I've got shit to do.
Fair enough. I will be watching it. No plan, no structure, no hope from Richard. Jesus Christ, Richard is not happy. Here's what I think. Eric Ten Hag is like the genius mathematician who says how you do this sum, now go do it. It's like you don't have to explain. An interesting metaphor. Jay McGorgan, Sam Chivy, do you think these guys in Yos will ride this out till Christmas and try and take a cheap way out because sacking the baldy man is going to hinder the Grandmaster plan? Is it not? What do you think, Chivy? They ride it out till Christmas?
I think the only reason they will ride anything out is if they don't have a suitable replacement. Ineos don't strike me as being very impulsive, and
they're not trigger happy, are they?
Yeah, they're not trigger happy. I think they like to take their time to. I think they decision making is always like long term sort of thing. Whether this starting before Christmas, that all depends on him. If the results don't show, I think at some point it will become untenable. Like his position will become untenable. This isn't their man because they didn't like give him like a long contract. They just extended it by a year.
Yeah.
So it's clearly not their man. It's kind of like they kind of put him on a probation. You know when you get a new job and then all right, 6 months.
It's like we don't think you can make this, but prove us wrong. Like there's a season.
It was wrong. Exactly, yeah. So I think they might take their time. They'll try and identify a new target.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll just sack him. But if push comes to shove, when it starts to become a financial decision, because I'm already seeing now, like if we don't make Champions League again, we have to pay Adidas. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Like it's going to come to a head, and we might have to then do some sort of damage limitation. And if that means sacking him before Christmas, then so be it. But I think just to answer your question, they don't strike me as being very impulsive. I think so far all the decisions they've made have been calculated, and I think I won't be surprised if they're already calling agents now to speak to managers, like managers
about availability, sounding them out, that kind of stuff.
Stuff like that, yeah. What do you think? Like, if this guy goes and everything. So at this point, it looks very likely because when you start to lose the players and stuff, like, yeah, he might be gone. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next part of the show. Dan Gore has returned to training and he's going to be included in the first team squad to play Porto. Kobbie Mainoo is also back. We saw him go off with a hamstring injury against Spurs, but apparently he's fine. In sort of like the pure negative that we're sort of going through as Manchester United players, is it nice to see Dan Gore back? I don't know if you were a fan of his. I don't know how much you rated him, but seeing young players like that getting a chance in a European game, are you happy with that?
Yeah, I don't think he'll play. He's probably just making up the numbers.
Sure.
I don't think he'll play, but Dan Gore's he's good. He's good. Whether or not he comes from, I don't know. I think Toby Collier, profile-wise, is more suited to the first team than Dan Gore is. Happy for him, though.
Yeah.
To make the squad, but yeah, I don't see him featuring. I think Porto is too big a game for Ten Hag to try and play some of the youth. Although that being said, you look at our youth setup, like we're slapping everyone.
Oh yeah, we're battering people.
Under 18s, under 21s, slapping people left, right, center. So like the youngers are doing they're keeping their side of the deal.
Yep.
They're playing really well. So if and I think he's the captain, he's the under 21 captain.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's performing well, why not? If he's earned the call up, then yeah, I mean it's good for him to be in there, but I don't think he'll play.
Yeah, we've got Jack. I think Jack Fletcher's in the squad as well. He's gone with them as well. He's getting really good sort of praise and stuff. Yeah. It's Darren Fletcher's kid, right? He's got two kids who are both.
Yeah. Two boys.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. Like you said, I don't think they start. I think they probably don't get minutes. But it would be interesting to see either one of them come on like for 10, 15 minutes towards the end. Like that would be super interesting because we are crying out for some sort of midfield in there, like, or a different system. Obviously, do you think throwing them into this like malfunctioning system is probably a bad idea though? Or do you think young players don't really care and they'll just sort of play with a bit of freedom anyway?
It doesn't matter. Like, it's not the players. The problem is not we have really, really good players.
Absolutely.
We've got good players. The only reason why I wouldn't want them to play is like because you're just going to put them in here in the same system and just completely ruin them. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, we've got really good players, man. The problem is not the players. It's the system we play. If we put them in a system that suits them, that places their strengths, then yeah, go ahead. Like if the manager has sort of come up with some sort of new strategy that, a new approach, which involves the youngers, yes, but that's very unrealistic at this point. I think it's going to be, we're playing away, we're going to be sitting back. It's going to be very rigid, conservative, in my opinion. And very high pressure because this is a really high pressure match. After losing to Spurs at home, we're going away to Porto, who are no joke. Those guys are not a joke.
Yep.
You understand? So, and they're super organized as well, and everyone knows you just have to be organized to beat us. Man. So I don't know. It's good to have them in there. Maybe they'll enjoy the experience, but I don't see them playing.
Just that you touched on Porto there. Like obviously, me, Nick, and Shreyas did the preview the other day. So if you guys haven't seen it, please do go check it out. It's a decent preview. You just mentioned then you see us just sitting back and sort of soaking up, and then possibly trying to get on the counter. Is that how you see this? Like how United trying to play, or are you just saying that's how you would? Like we'll get into your sort of setup in a bit, but is that how you see it going, or do you think Ten Hag is just gonna full fast like stick with this system where he's getting exposed continually and trying to play his way, or do you think he's gonna have to change tactic now in this game?
If we're taking Dalot's word for it, where he's talking about playing like every game is a final, then yes, probably, because that's how we've tried to play the last couple of finals. Soaking up the pressure and catching them at the counter. I personally wouldn't recommend trying to play ball with them because technically they probably are a lot better than us technically on the ball. In Portugal, they play really good football. I know the league doesn't have that much money and doesn't have really big names, but the style of football they play is a lot better than ours.
Young talent, though. They identify young talent really, really good.
And it's more similar to the Prem than any of the others. That's why a lot of people who come from that league just come and just blend in straight up. Like you see a lot of, I mean, the Silvers, Bernardo Silva, Bruno, all these people just come in and kind of just blend in because it's a lot more similar. It's a lot more than the rest of the other leagues. So I wouldn't recommend trying to play with them, trying to go toe to toe. Just know, it's best for us to just listen. We need to recognize the position we're in. It's a very important game. Like the Europa League is probably the most important competition for us this season. I believe so, because on paper it's probably the most winnable.
And we aren't finishing top 4 either. So
yeah, so this is the only way that we can actually get into the Champions League and get the money, right? Or at least, if anything, just get into the Champions League. So I would recommend being as conservative as possible. Play to our strengths, man. Just lock up and use the pace. We've got pace, man. We've got pacey players. We've got instinctive players.
Yep.
I wouldn't recommend trying to play with them and just be conservative. Play for a draw if possible. You can't win now, so you might as well just get a point.
Yeah. Let's go to the comments. Throwing caution to the wind or peeing against the wind. That's Stephanie Griffith. I mean, yeah. Ineos have to get this right. It does seem like they have learnt with Nice. I hope so. Pleased with Dan Gore after getting that shoulder injury. Yeah, that was a bad shoulder injury. That one. He had a major surgery with it. So yeah, good to see him back. Chivi. The youth team plays with freedom. Ethan Wheatley scored 4 apparently the other day. So yeah, they're absolutely smashing teams. He won't play on the counter, Sam. I hope you're right, but I don't see it. Jamie McGogan, I think sitting off absorbing with 2 pivots and countering will suit us. We may even get a result. Bold statement, I know. Ten Hag on death row, just need him in that orange jumpsuit. Can't get that image out of my head now. Stephanie. Richard saying, Jay.
I can see it as well, man. I can see it.
Just shuffling out in chains, just like. Jay McGogan, I'm inches from fucking football off altogether, Richard. Jay McGogan's on the edge, mate. He's on the edge.
Yeah. Me and you, man. Me and you.
Kobbie Mainoo were fire for the class of 22. Yeah, absolutely. They were really, really good last year. I think that's why Gore got the captaincy because of that season. Because we won the league and the FA Cup, the youth league, I think, didn't they, that year?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really interesting. Right, final bit, Chivy, and then we'll head off. I'm gonna put you in the shoes of the manager. You are Eric Ten Hag, so obviously you've lost all your hair and you're now white. Sorry. Um, you're in charge of the team. How are you setting up? How are you playing for these next 2 games to save your job and give the fans a little bit of faith? Are you going for a back 5? Who are you dropping? Who are you starting? Like, how are you setting up? Give me your sort of crash course of how you would change things.
I'm not a manager.
No, but
Just
we've spoke about this where it's like
I know.
we can see the flaws. So
Yeah,
like, give me like how you
yeah,
fix it.
yeah. Who was it? I think it was this Steph. Someone just said it in the
Yes,
comments. Double pivot. Play
double pivot.
fucking double. Yeah. Stop this nonsense of this single 6. Like it's useless. You know we can't even we never look like we can outnumber. If it's like if we're on in attack, it's always like 4 against 1. The players are way too far away from each other. Whenever we play, look at the masterclass we did against City in the final. That was a masterclass, and that was exactly what Newcastle did to them at the weekend. Play narrow, force them to the wings, and defend for your life. And we did that with ease. We could have done that for 2 days. Promise you, could have kept doing that for 2 days. Like, just lock up. So I would, like I said earlier on, man, I wouldn't recommend trying to go out and play this stupid,
Who's your double
transitional
pivot?
football.
Who you playing? Who you playing in that double pivot?
I'm playing Cass, and I'm playing. I'll play either Cass and Ugarte, or Cass and Mainoo. But I might go for Cass and Ugarte, the double pivot. Yeah, I'll go Cass and Ugarte, and then I'll go for Christian Eriksen, or Kobbie Mainoo, as 10. What you get with Cass and what you get with Eriksen is the balls, the through balls, the vision, that sort of thing. Cass might not be, I mean, if Cass has somebody like Ugarte next to him, or playing close to him, I think I can see a chemistry with those two. Before we played Spurs, I put it in the chat, in the group chat. Remember, I said, this Ugarte and Mainoo thing, when I saw the header, I was like, there's no chemistry there. I don't see that working at all. And that was terrible. I'd play Cass and Ugarte in the double pivot, or even Cass and Eriksen, or Cass and maybe whatever. I want to have Cass, Eriksen, and Mainoo on the pitch at the same time. And they can all play the 10. They can all play. They can swap. They can just stay.
Some fluidity within that midfield.
Yes, we've seen that. We've seen that happen before. They can do that. Yeah. So I'd like to see that. When we played that sort of position in the first 10 after the season, we're really good. Cass was really, really good, and that was when he had the double pivot there. So I'd do that, and then I'd have Rashford and Ahmad on the wings, and then I'd have Xerxes up top. And then when people get tired, you bring on Garnacho. Garnacho is one of the best super subs that you can have.
He's the definition of impact player, isn't he? Just definition.
Yeah. I wouldn't start him up. I'd put him on the bench, give Rashford a goal, and then take him off when he starts messing up, and then bring Garnacho on. That's how I'd set up.
The same defensive line. So you're going Matsraoui, Dalot, Dalot.
Do we have a choice?
Yeah. You can stick Maguire in there if you want. Lindelof.
No, right now the defense kind of picks itself. Really.
Yeah.
It kind of picks itself. Maybe who knows? It might be Maguire or Dalot. I don't know. But the defense kind of picks itself at the moment. So I'm just more concerned about the shape that we have. And yeah, that's how I've set up.
What about, would you, with consideration of like Xerxes in the 10 has been mentioned, would you be up for that, or do you think he's way better sort of further up the pitch?
Further up the pitch, just play him in his best position, play him up there, because if he's playing in the 10, it means he's part of the midfield 3. He would need to drop in at some point. I don't want to see him dropping in trying to bust the goal. get injured doing some stupid stuff. Just be up there. Because it happens a lot. Like sometimes you have some of these top number 9s.
Yeah.
When you have people like Crespo, you have people like Rude, Inzaghi, they'll be missing.
Yeah.
But when they pop up, it's really, really important.
They'll score.
You understand? Yeah. So even if he's popping up to score, popping up to late, yeah, just play him in his best position. Let's stop doing this thing of square pegs and round holes. Like play him in his best. Play all your players in there. I'd leave him up there. We have enough people that can play the 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, how does it look? Spending 600 million and then playing a striker in the 10. So what did you spend all that money for?
Yeah.
We have the players to do that.
You can argue as well, like we've spent all this money and there's still massive holes in the squad. Like, why did we not buy a left back? That's a massive, massive question. Like, I still don't know the answer to that. Why did we not buy a proven goal scorer? Like, I really like Xerxes, I really like Højlund, but it seems like we're lacking experience in that front line. Like, we bought Mason Mount for 60 odd million. Could we not have gone and got an Ivan Toney? You know what I mean? Like,
Mason Mount. That's my living nightmare.
Yeah.
On it, because I always forget he plays for United, and then every other time, and then he kind of comes back. He play. Oh my god, it's like a nightmare I can't run away from, and he's going to be here for a long time.
It's a 5-year deal, mate. 5 year with a +1. So yeah, he's here for a while.
Oh, it's like the worst thing, and he wears the number 7. Like, it's
I
just.
Can't, do you know what? I was all right. Like, I don't like Mason Mount. I don't know why we bought him. I don't rate him at all. And then they gave him the number 7. I was just like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Here's the thing. I don't think Mason Mount is a fit player. Like, I don't hate him.
No,
me
neither.
It's just not a fit.
Doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Doesn't fit.
It doesn't. It's pointless. What does he do? I remember when I was having this conversation with Nick, and Nick was trying to tell me about, like, I think he runs or he presses. Like, yeah, we paid 60 million for what? A track and field athlete.
Yeah.
Like, we need goals, assists, and stuff from a number 10. It's not about running. What the hell are you going to do with running? Like, I'm asking people about what this guy brings to the team, and people, other people are telling me, oh yeah, he's a good presser and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what that reminds me of? I'll tell you. I'll give you a really good analogy. So for the people who don't know, like you probably tell from my accent, I'm Nigerian, right? And we recently had a new president last year who came in, like after the elections, and he came in and made some changes, and people are living in terrible poverty. Like, it's so bad.
He's made it worse,
right? He's made it so bad. Like, people can barely afford to feed themselves.
Yeah.
And then when we go up to this guy, like, yo, people are dying. He's telling us, oh, but our GDP is. What the fuck does GDP have to do with anything? So this is what I'm saying with Mason Mount. Like, what have you done for? You're telling me he runs. Yeah. What the fuck is what does running do for anything?
No.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's just like, man, he's like a living nightmare, honestly. Like, I just can't believe this guy plays here. Like, I don't hate him at all. No. Just what's the point of this guy?
It was honestly. Like when we bought Bayinde. Like, why have we bought a first team goalie to be the second team goalie when you're clearly never going to play him over Onana? Why? Like, we've got it's all right. We've got Kovacs sat there, and then it's just like,
that's Mason Mount. That's
what we bought Bayinde. Why have we done that? Like, why have we done that? I don't understand it. Like, it's baffling to me. It really is baffling. And Mason Mount's in that category, so you all good?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Right, I've got a couple of comments in the chat, and then we'll get out of it. Let's have a gander. Jay McGorgan is singing "Walking the Mile," just walking a mile. Don't know what that means, but okay. Jay McGorgan said, like I said, Casemiro, Uarte, the back four we've played, and then the front four, take your pick. Stephanie Griffith, hi all. What's up, Stephanie? Hope you're well. Richard is saying I'd play Xerxes as the 10. So I disagree, Richard.
I've heard the argument.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And then play with 2 up front. Jamie McGogg is saying Mendes or Davis, we need to fuck Shaw off. I proper think Shaw is the one spouting shite to the media and always has been. Jay Gorgon thinks he's the leak. There you go. Stephen Griffin, more compact midfield, flexible for 2-2 formation. Casemiro, Ugarte, Mainoo, Bruno with 2 up top, Xerxes and Hoyland. That's how people are sort of lining up in the chat.
Bruno's not getting a sniff in my team.
Nope. But let's find out before we go. What is your prediction for the Porto United game tomorrow, mate? How are you feeling? Loss, probably. Like I went with a loss, so.
This is the thing, United always do this, man. Like,
you think they're gonna pull something out of the bag here? Do you reckon they pull something out of the bag?
Yeah, because come on, Sam. Like we've been following United for years and years and years. Like this is what they do to us all the time. I can't just write them off. I just can't believe I can't just write them off, especially now. Like if they lose this or they play badly, that's it, bro.
Yep.
If you can't respond to what happened at the weekend, what the fuck are you doing here? Do you get me? So like I just can't see us losing. I mean, logic dictates that we lose this one based on everything that's happening. But my prediction, I don't know. I'll probably go 1-1. 1-1, yeah.
If he loses, is it like is he gone, or do you think they still give him time? Like if we see a performance like we did against Spurs, do you think that's it? It's done.
It probably depends on the manner, because at this point, like if we take another heavy loss, like it's gonna start affecting everything. Yep. Like we have a brand to protect.
Absolutely.
Like, this club is just more than a football club. Like we have a brand to protect. Like we have businesses to protect. Like we're gonna lose a lot of sponsors. You're gonna see people going over to like Arsenal, to Chelsea, like all the sponsors. Like no one's gonna be picking up our calls.
Don't support us. Don't sponsor Arsenal. I don't need to see them like do that. Fucking Arsenal.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like all these companies, they're not really going to be picking. We're going to have to get Ed Woodward back so that he can go to like Taiwan and get us a deal with like a sandwich maker or something like.
We had the noodles. We had the noodle sponsorship, didn't we? Remember that?
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, we'll probably have to end up going like I don't know to all these places and I don't know. Yeah, this is the must win, but realistically, I see a draw, 1-1. I'm going to go.
Okay. Cool.
What about you? What do people think?
Yeah, in the chat, let me know. Tell me predictions for tomorrow. Let me know your score predictions, how it's going to go. I said 2-1 loss to Porto. I think we lose 2-1. I think we score an early goal and things look rosy, and then we get pegged back and they end up winning the game. I think that's what happens.
Okay.
We'll see.
What do you think though? Like, if we lose this, do you think it's gone, or like?
If we put performance in like we did against Spurs, I don't see how you come back from that, because that Spurs performance was damning. That was fucking damning. That performance at home against the Spurs, who you should like. That is the perfect team to play, isn't it? Like high line, you've got quick wingers and players in behind.
I just thought about like their midfield was Bentancur, Kulusevski, and Maddison.
They had no Son either.
That's the midfield. So when people talk about like, I remember when people say Donny van de Beek didn't have the physicality. Do those guys have the physicality?
No.
Yeah, it's just positioning. Yeah, I don't want to go off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I'll read out a couple of comments and we'll get out of it. Richard Hawkins saying, I'm going to write a book of sorrows of a United fan. That is a long book, especially the last sort of 15 years or so. That is a long fucking book. Jay McGrogan, I give up trying to figure out Eric Ten Hag's tactics and subs. It's like trying to figure out what colour the number 7 smells like.
That's a good one.
So random. Stephanie Griffith, pressure is mounting, literally. Richard Hawkins saying 2-0 Porto. Jamie McGrogan saying 2-0 Porto, though their wingers, both of them will score. People are not confident, Jivy. People are really not confident. This is where we are. This is
it, man.
But yeah. We will back tomorrow evening with the pre-match and the post-match review. Nick will be back in the afternoon with a news show. And then this weekend we will try and sort of put some stuff together for the Villa preview and the Villa match day as well. Chivy, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I know United is not fun to talk about right now. I'd rather talk about something else, but we are here. Thank you everybody in the chat for joining us. We appreciate you. I'm gonna go watch some good football in Champions League and actually enjoy it rather than watch United.
I can't do that.
No,
it hurts me to just.
what? Because it's not United, like because you're not.
It's just like it just hurts me.
Is it like? Is it like when you break up with someone and then you see another girl and you're like, oh God, it reminds me of her. It reminds me of her. But yeah, I understand what you mean, but I use it as like, oh, look what we could have. Like this could be us one day. Like it's something, but yeah, it's definitely going to say, no, now look, Hoyland will bag 2 goals and we'll lose the game like last year's Champions League campaign. Last year's Champions League campaign was fucking abysmal. That was one of the most mental campaigns I've ever seen in my life. That absolutely mental.
Man, that last year, yeah, that scarred me, man. Remember, I spent the whole September in Amsterdam. I was there for like a month.
It just gave up. It's fucked off.
And every time I went to this, I used to go to this pub like in the center of Amsterdam to watch, and every time I'd go there, it would just be a resounding loss. The Champions League games, the Arsenal game, everything, and I was just like, this place is cursed.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It was so bad, man. Honestly, you know, because we're now in the group stage.
Yeah, we could blame Chivy for our Champions League campaign, and he cursed us in Amsterdam. That was the issue. Jay Gorgon, I like that sound. That could be us one day. Not used to be us. Yeah, I mean, we used to be great, and now we're not. So yeah, we kind of got to accept it. Follow all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. News every day.
Check out Sam's OnlyFans, man.
Yes, my OnlyFans is still live. So if you want to subscribe, there's one subscriber on there. His name is C. Auger. I don't know who that is, but I'll find out one day. But yeah, if you want to subscribe to that, please do. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description. But yeah, cheers, Chivy. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Nice.
Peace out.
Yeah.